your attention. I'm running out your mind. Don't know the direction to your side. Got the wrong impression. I thought that we were fine, but now it's turned to ice. So you decide, and I just wait. I don't get you, I don't chase. So you decide, and I'll just save my time. I guess we'll never know, but don't say that you're sorry. Don't say that you're sorry, girl. 'Cause we came almost too close, but don't say that you're sorry. You don't really want me, girl. It's already broken. I don't wanna talk. I'm already looking for something more. But if you wanna link up, you can hit the line. Call me anytime. So you decide, and I'll just wait. I don't get you, I don't chase. So you decide, and I'll just save my time. I guess we'll never know, but don't say that you're sorry. Don't say that you're sorry, girl. 'Cause we came almost too close, but don't say that you're sorry. You don't really want me, girl. Don't leave me on, don't let my phone. Don't leave me on if you don't really want me, girl. Don't leave me on, don't let my phone. Don't leave me on if you don't really want me, girl. I heard that you wanna be something. Why you gotta treat me like nothing, yeah? I heard that you wanna be something. You're already talking. I guess we'll never know, but don't say that you're sorry. Don't say that you're sorry, girl. We came almost too close, but don't say
Hello.
that you're sorry.
Welcome. Yeah, today's gonna be a quiet little game. Hello, welcome, Sentient. I've always wondered, Sentient, does the WM in your name stand for washing machine? Because I'm pretty sure that's what your profile picture is, right? Is it Sentient Washing Machine?
Want me, girl.
Ah, yeah, okay. I'm not dumb. Yes, you are a washing machine. Welcome. Glad to have a washing machine watching my stream. As well as anybody else who might be lurking. Hold on, let me just swap the song real quick to something a little bit more chill, since today's going to be kind of a relaxing day. I'm just going to be going through a bunch of my, photos I've taken over my, stretching already. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for redeeming the 250. And thank you, Xyoru, for the follow. Welcome to the Magic Metaverse. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, no, today's just going to be kind of a chill day. I'm going to be going through a ton of my photos that I've taken over the 2+ years I've been doing photography in the Metaverse. Yeah, it'll be fun. Just a small little chill stream and a lot of story time. A lot of me explaining exactly what I do. Hello, welcome. Yes, I figured. I saw the Yoru. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's L. Yep, welcome. But yes. So I think we should get started, shall we? Let me just swap over to my other screen. I think I'm a little bit to the left. Hold on. This is gonna look strange. There we go. Ooh, Faye. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yes. Already doing stretchies. And we're already casting water magic. Okay. Here we go. Just for you, I will drink some water. Okay. I think we're ready to start, yeah? Let me just lower that a little bit. So yes, hello. A lot of you know me throughout VR chat and maybe other places. But I am a virtual photographer. I take a lot of pictures in VR chat, as well as a few other games, but mostly VR chat. So all of the photos I'm showing off today are actually, taken within VR chat. I lovingly refer it to as the Metaverse. So you'll see a lot of progression, hopefully, through these pics. Yes. Oh, that's right. You two know each other from that one Discord that I'm definitely a part of, and I have definitely not ghosted for a little while because I've been busy with stuff. Yes. Hello. But yeah, so I take a lot of pictures in VR chat. I think I can actually check real quick what my picture count is. I'm scared to hit this properties button, but we'll hit it anyway. Let's see. So I've got almost 1,000 in that folder. I've got almost 200 in that one. I've got almost 400 in that one. Almost 700 there. Almost 400 there. And there's definitely a lot more. Yes, that's totally fine. I appreciate you for stopping by. So yeah, my picture count is probably really close to about 3,000-ish, and that doesn't include the probably 20,000-ish photos that I've deleted over the course of time. Yes, hello, Duan. Welcome. Doing a photo stream today, kind of. I'm just showing off a bunch of my photography and stuff. I will say not all of these photos are taken by me. I will point out ones that aren't specifically taken by me or edited by me in some way. Yeah, absolutely. I know we had plans and I feel so bad because I got very busy like immediately after. I love your edits. They're so cool. And like I've always wanted a Yoru edit of like one of my photos because they're so cute. Yeah. They remind me of stuff that I used to do before the Metaverse. But yes. We should definitely set that up. I'm gonna be a little bit busy next week, but the weekend, next weekend or the week after, I'm totally free. So like, hit me up, okay? I'm totally down to take pictures. I'm still down. I swear. But yes. Oh, does it pop? My bad. Let me just lower myself a little bit. That should be a little bit better, right? Yeah, maybe. Possibly. I mean, if you want to, like, I think I have it in my server rules. Any photo of mine that you want to... Oh, it's like breaths into the mic. Ah, gotcha. I think I have it in my server. If you ever see a photo... Yeah, I'm trying not to blow into my mic, okay? I just... Really excited. But yeah, I have it in my rules. Any like photo that you want to like, that you see that you want to edit, go for it. Absolutely, I'm totally down for any and all edits of my character and such. Yeah. But yeah, let's see what I have next. But yeah, no, I've been doing this for 2-ish years. I've made a lot of progress. From the start to beginning, I believe. Let me, if I have my actual folder open, I can see the list in order of such of my photos, so I can at least keep on topic. But yeah, 2 years, probably over 20,000-ish photos taken. That's kind of just a rough number. I might be highballing it, and I definitely have over 3,000 saved to my PC and also my Discord because they all go there. Yeah, thank you so much. They totally didn't start that way. As you know, with most things, it comes with practice. So I think where this all started, Yeah, I've got a few that are 8K. Actually, recently I found a way to take 4K photos, 6K photos, and 8K photos. So I've been messing around with that, but more on that later because I think I have that towards the end of the slideshow. But yes, they definitely didn't start that way though. I was not the best photographer. What really kind of kicked all of this off was a ex-partner that I had. They showed me that the camera function, oh, don't worry about it. They showed me that the camera function existed in VR chat. And as soon as I learned there was a camera function, I was sold. Because taking virtual pictures was like, I don't know. It was something that I enjoyed a lot because I thought it was just the cutest thing. So we're gonna take a very, we're gonna go all the way back like 2-ish years ago, and we're gonna take a look at Magic 1.0. This is how I looked initially. I had a red and black color scheme, and quite honestly, this was the first picture I've taken. This is the first picture in my library. I think, maybe. I might be lying, but this is the first like picture of Magic 1.0. As soon as I got a hold of this model, I made it low key. I mean, if they want to sponsor me, that'd be sick. I love their coffee. I drink it all the time. But yes, this is how I looked initially, with a red and black color scheme, with a fuzzy little coat. And I was very dead set on taking pictures with every virtual drink I could find. So here's another. And another. That is how my photography journey started, was me taking pictures of myself with various virtual drinks. But eventually, it started to get a little bit better. Wait, you can't make coffee, right? How? Like, look up a recipe, dude. It's not that hard. Yes, welcome back. Yeah. Yeah, no, I sometimes forget that my server of pictures exists too. But, oh, yeah, right? Eventually, like, my stuff started to get better. So, I started kind of like naturally feeling out what a good photo looked like. I had no idea what like any sort of the rules or tips. This was all just kind of me learning on my own what looked good. Yeah, you know what? Coffee is a little bit tough. It does require, you know, what's the word for it? I don't know, kind of like you need like kind of a bit of a coffee sense to make a coffee good. Just kind of feel it out, try stuff, see what works, see what doesn't. Kind of like photography. But yes. So I was red and black for, I want to say, 3 or so months. And then I'm like, you know what? Not really feeling the red and black. I want to kind of start with my own color scheme. And that's where the white and blue starts. This is one of the first pictures of me, white and blue, kind of. This model wasn't made by me specifically. It was made by the same partner that, you know, introduced me to the camera function. And I really appreciate them for this. However, their sense of color was not quite what I was looking for. When I said white and blue, when I asked them to make this model, they kind of stuck with more of a teal, and teal is not my thing. And for whatever reason, they had issues making anything that had fur on it, so like my coat or my ears or my tail. It was hard to make it look just white. So instead of making those parts white, they were black, and it made the color pop really, like it made the teal pop really well. However, like it wasn't the colors I was aiming for. So I'm like, these look cool, but not quite what I was looking for. But even still, I kept taking photos. I was absolutely in love with these avatars. I had no idea how to make them on my own, which is why I stuck with it. So I flip-flopped between, you know, black and red, and white and blue. No, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. You have a wonderful rest of your evening. Get some sleep. Thank you so much for popping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one. So, I started, this is where, my signature look kind of started taking root, was with this model. I used the black and red one was used as a base, and it was just color swapped to the white and teal. And then, here's a better look at it. This is a transparent photo, but it's just the model. I can zoom in just a little bit, but like, you can see, that's a lot more of a teal, not so much blue. And I also used to have a fox that sat on my shoulders all the time. Their name was Mana. They're adorable. Hopefully I get them back at some point, and hopefully they can join us on stream. I love Mana. Mana's my little fox. I enjoy them. But eventually I started learning how to actually make models, and this is actually, when my photography started to like, this is when I hit like a small breakthrough with my own photography, because as soon as I had my own model, I couldn't stop taking pictures. It was everywhere, whenever I could. Oh no. Okay, there we go. It was anywhere, wherever I could. I messed with the model, and I got it to look that white and blue that I wanted it to. And this is what I've stuck with for, I want to say, probably a year, maybe a year and a half. I've had this look for so long. It's just been tweaked and fine-tuned. And there's Mana with his own little recolor. Originally, though, this is a little tip for anybody who doesn't have full body tracking in VR chat. A great place if you want to get more dynamic photos of your model, or even if you want to test how your model moves and make sure that it's weight painting correctly and all that other fun stuff. MMD Worlds, there's one specifically, I think it's just called MMD World. It's got a big cat on the title card. But go to an MMD World and stick the model, like have the model do a dance, and then use your camera to get, a lot of dynamic photos. So a lot of my early pictures before I had full body were in an MMD world where where my legs could actually move, because it's very easy to pick out somebody who doesn't have full body in VR chat, because their legs kind of follow behind their head, which is a little bit weird. It makes getting photos a little trickier, but with an MMD world, you will find that it's a lot easier to get these more dynamic photos, especially if you know a lot of the dances and a lot of the moves that are going to be coming up. Some of these dances I did probably over 30 or so times, just to memorize them and memorize which poses I wanted to get pictures of, so I could place my camera beforehand and know exactly when the pose was going to happen and where the pose was going to happen. But yes. But yeah, this is a look I've stuck with. I still have this model. I still use this model. The skeleton on it's just a little bit busted, so it bends kind of weird. But for the most part, it's fine. And then, but yeah, this is my look. Yeah, big brain. I figured all that stuff out like really early. Like as soon as I found MMD Worlds, I'm like, yep. I'm set. This is all I need to do with photography. By the way, these two photos, these were taken by Oni Boy, a really good friend of mine. I'll talk about him a little bit later. Oh yes, I do have. Ooh, Faye, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the Metaverse. But yeah, no, I do have some videos up on my YouTube of MMD dances that I've done and filmed. Let me just grab that real quick. You can go check it out right there. MMD, the MMD worlds are wonderful. There's another one. It's not as well known, which is really surprising because it actually has animations that play behind your model. I've got an example of one, again, up on my YouTube. It's, what dance was it called? It was Onegai Darling. It was the name of the song. But it was really, Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, I hope you enjoy your time here in my little corner of the metaverse, and I will continue to try and be entertaining, I suppose. But yes, there's a very kind of hidden little MMD world that plays animations behind your model. So it makes your model transparent, or it makes the background behind your model transparent so that your model is the only thing that appears on screen, and then it plays an animation behind your model. And then it uses a bunch of clever camera work and a bunch of clever animations to make it look like, you know, your model is in that scene. It's really, really good. Yep, he's the one that inspired me to get VRC lens as well. More on that later. I think it's really funny because I think he has no idea how big of an inspiration he's been to so many different people throughout the VRC community, especially with VRC lens and actually taking photos. But yes, I will get to him in just a little bit. But yes, after that, I did get a second. I did have, you know, a second outfit that I used a ton. Anybody who's a big fan of Tekken should know this outfit. This is Lucky Chloe's outfit. I'm in love with this outfit. Yes, I love this outfit so much. This is the early version of that outfit, though, where again it uses more of the teal color to try and match the ears a little bit. Did you really? I knew him. I met him when he got the. Thank you so much. I met him when he got. It was this short little thing that VR Chat Society was doing on their Instagram, where it was like Creator of the Week or something like that, where they featured somebody, and Oniboy was the first, I was the second, and they never did it again. I think. If they did do it again, I totally missed it. But as far as I know, they never did it again, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah. So this is my friends developed a dance export tool that a lot of the VRC dancers do motion. Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool. I had no idea. Wait, they developed a dance export tool that a lot of the VRC dancers do to do motion capture for animations. So they can mocap themselves dancing, right? Did I read that correctly? So they can like mocap like real dances and then export that into VRC. Oh, wow. That's really cool. Ooh, yes, photos, Kirby. I'm going through a bunch of them today. I think I have 119 to go through, and we are like 2 rows in. But yes, I still use this avatar. It's adorable. It just... sounds good. This was the early version of the model, so this has like the whisker stripes on, and the whisker stripes and the star on the cheek. That was the first face tattoos that I had. It also has none of the body tattoos that I'm typically known for. But yes, this was the early teal version. But after that, after I got, you know, into model making and such, I released my own version of it where I put my name on the back, and it's a lot more blue. It has... Really? Is this a common thing that I just didn't know about? That sounds amazing. I mean, I can't dance, which is why I went... which is why I've only ever filmed dances in the MMD worlds. But yes. So I released my blue version. And this is kind of where I found my look. This is something I stuck with for a very long time. I loved this look so much. By the way, this whole time I in VRC, I had been mute from the start of all of these pictures. Cosmo7, yes, from the Twitter post. Oh wow. Oh yeah, you followed very recently. Oh my god, you followed 7 hours ago. Thank you so much for the follow, and welcome to the Magic Metaverse. You followed me off stream, so I didn't catch the alert, but thank you so much. Yes, hello. Shader Motion Lab. I mean, if it can be used to make other animations, not just for dances, that'd be dope. I'll have to check it out. Definitely show me that later. I should be on tonight because I think I have another photo shoot to do. But yes, yeah. As soon as this model came out, I kind of just fell into my own little style. This is kind of where my character really developed. I wanted to be a pop star for a really long time, and now I'm a streamer. So I don't know if that. I think that kind of works, right? Can I still be a pop star and be a streamer? Because that'd be cool. But yes. Oh, so also same industry. Fair enough. I'll look into it. Maybe if I ever decide to re-debut, I can do a pop star outfit. That'd be slick. Yeah, I know. I feel so bad, but here's the thing. Here's what's really funny. My sleeping schedule is absolutely cucked. So normally I'm awake from like 3 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I mean, I don't know if that makes it any better or any worse, but like, yes. I should still probably be able to swing it, even if your time zone is completely different from mine. But yes, I also, so with this photo, kind of what I wanted to show off by having these two really close together, I got into photo editing my own photos as well. I didn't do it very often. I did it with maybe 1 or 2 photos early on. Started doing a lot more recently, but I use a app called PixArt. To edit all of my photos, which means I edit all of my photos. It's currently just after midnight. That's not too bad. Yeah, if you get on like during your evening times, I can totally get on like right when I wake up. Totally fine, as long as I have time to like eat food or something. But yes, we should be able to swing it. But yeah, no, I use a phone app called PixArt, and I only use the free version. I don't use the paid version. You can get like a gold premium version, but I don't really feel like it's one of those purchases I could never justify, despite how much I use the app, and all of the cool features that come with gold. I feel like I wouldn't be able to utilize it well enough to justify buying gold. But anyway, yeah, pretty cool. I'll take a look into prequel. I love how PixArt works. I've been using PixArt for, I want to say 6-ish years. Like, does everybody remember when like the Thanos meme was a big thing? Like when Marvel's Avengers came out, or like Endgame came out and the snap happened. Everybody started doing like those dusting memes, where I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark, and started doing those. That's why the app, that's the app people used to make those memes way back then. And so the whole reason I downloaded it was so I could make that meme. And I've just been using it ever since because it is genuinely a really good photo editing app. But yes, I started editing my photos. So this is the original version of this photo, and this is the version of the photo I made using PixArt. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with it. A lot of really cool stuff with it. I enjoy using this app so much. I will, and I've gotten really quick at doing it too. Like I can make a really good edit in maybe, I want to say 20 minutes. Okay, sounds good. Go get some food. I promise I'll still be here after you're done. We've got quite a few of these to work through. But yes. So a trick with, at least something I tend to do with all my photos, I like color. I don't like when color is like washed out or grayed. I like a lot of colors, so a lot of my photos you will see are very highly saturated. So you can see I brought out the blues and the reds and the yellow in this photo. I even added a kind of a point of focus in this one. Again, these are things I just naturally did. I didn't actually learn anything, or hadn't learned anything photography specific at this point, or like even art specific. This was all, I think this looks good, so I'm gonna put it in. Come to find out, I kind of just had a natural knack for taking photos, and I'm glad I stuck with it because I have a lot of really good photos. And oh boy, hello, welcome. Hi, hi. There was another world I found a while ago that had cool shader effects. So like there was this wall that you could walk through, and it would like leave this weird little like watery trail. If Kirby's still here, he might recognize the world I'm talking about, because he's the one that showed me this world. I believe Psychotic was there as well, but it had a bunch of cool things like it had a it's so weird. Like it had a magnifier, I think. So like if you stood near like of a mini version of the world, you could actually see a very giant version of your model projected above the world, like to scale. It looked really, really cool. There was also a weird little like kaleidoscope, but with mirrors. It was really, really bad if you have a bad for your PC if you don't have a strong PC. This world took so much to render everything because it was trying to render like 6 different reflections of you at the same time, and also like run like physics and run like its own physics engine. Yes, Fluid Flow Studio. Oh, and you know this world too. Yeah. I've been meaning to go back to it, so I might honestly clip a few parts of this stream just so I can be like, oh, that's the name of the world, okay. Yeah, ton of different camera settings. It was really, really cool. You could get a bunch of cool little effects, like this specifically. But yes. Next one I have... Okay, so I did mention I got into model making a little bit. Yeah, sure. You can either DM it to me or you can put it in the World Suggestions tab in my Discord, because I always check the World Suggestion tab, even though like there've been very few posts there. Whenever somebody does, I'd be sure to go check out the world that was posted there. I should think about making a photo exhibit world one day. Maybe down the road. I definitely have a pair of people that I could commission for that type of thing, because they're getting into world building, and having a fun little photography world that is my own would be kind of cool. So yeah, maybe, definitely, that's definitely a possibility. I definitely have put some thought into it. I just don't know how it would look, but I would love to do something like that. But yes. So I mentioned I got into, doing my own avatars. I'm not amazing at it, but I did start making my own. I'm going to head out for a little bit, okay? Should be back soon, but I'm going to go work on photos and edits for Instagram. Hit me up if you want to take photos, or I'll ask you. Hope to see you again soon. Yes, absolutely, Yoru. I will be sure to hit you up again. As I said, I'm probably going to be busy for most of next week, but next weekend or the week after, and really any time after that, I will be 100% and completely free. So feel free to hit me up then. And I will try my best to hit you up again, and we'll actually do a photo shoot, because that would be a lot of fun. But yes, model making. I'm not amazing with it. At the time, I really only knew how to do Unity, meaning I couldn't affect anything in Blender. I still don't really know my way around Blender all that much, but I definitely know Unity pretty well. So I got really into texturing, and making things for like making edits on models that were just texture based. So there have been a few different holiday edits that I've made. I think I only have like 2-ish today. In around 15 days I leave for holiday in a month, so hopefully, yeah, absolutely, you will definitely see me before then if that's the case. I will make it a point to try and do a photo shoot with you before you leave for holiday. Yes, absolutely. But yes, so I've only made like 2 different holiday edits of avatars, and one of them is a holiday that some people kind of forget. It's St. Patrick's Day. So I've got a green version of my Lucky Chloe that has just a ton of clovers on it, and I replaced the face tattoo with a clover. I put a ton of work into this avatar, and like it looks so cool, and I can only use it at one point during the year. I went like I even put like clovers in the eyes too, like you can kind of see that there. I put a ton of work into this avatar, but it's one of like 2 avatars I've worked on that are specifically meant for a holiday. but I digress. Next one. So this is a world, I forget the name of it specifically, but it's a world I've had saved forever, and it has been on wallpaper after wallpaper of mine for so long because it is just absolutely beautiful. I've done a wallpaper engine, like animated version of this photo, where the fog is like moving and all that such, and so are all of like the little sparklies throughout the sky. Yes, no, absolutely beautiful. I love this world so much. I want to go back and actually get like professional type photos here because I've never taken VRC lens here before. I've only ever used the standard VRC camera up until or for a lot of my photos because I don't have a VRC lens on my avatar, and I really should put one on there. I'm just way too lazy. But yes, that's another thing, by the way. Yes, I did. I have one where I was I used my Ender Girl avatar because my Ender Girl had flight before. It had flight without a client. It was one of those like teleporty models where you could go invisible and fly around and such. Really janky, but it worked. I don't know if flight works all that well anymore, but it used to work very well, or kind of well. But nope, I had one where I was surfing on the butterfly trail, so I was over here on top of them. It looked really cool. Again, all of these photos are in my Discord server, so if you ever want to go check them out at your leisure, I will get you the link for that. There's that if you want to join the Discord. That's where I post all of my photos and all of my edits. Yes, and a few I can't show on stream because of reasons. Twitch TOS and all that other fun stuff. But yes, this world is absolutely beautiful. I've gone here multiple times. I've made an animated version of this photo. I've just never taken VRC lens here, which is a shame. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you can put 2 and 2 together. Reasons. But yes, moving on. What's the next one on the list? All right, this is a really important moment because it's not a very impressive photo, I know, but this is the day I got full body. This is when I got my legs. This is when I could start moving around freely, and this is where, you know, my photos hit another breakthrough because not only was I wasn't limited to MMD World. Sounds good, awesome. So I didn't have to use MMD Worlds to get very, very expressive photos anymore. Like this was taken back at that MMD World again. Same with this one. This one was also taken in that MMD World. But now I've got legs. Now I can start doing really like expressive poses and all that fun stuff. This is where I wouldn't say my photography got a lot better, but my modeling did. So I was able to actually start like moving around and posing my legs and figuring out how to do all of that. And I had a lot of fun with it. I was in so many different worlds where I was just like walking around, and those were the pictures because I'm like, yes, I can walk with my feet now. I don't have to worry. I don't have to like move around with a control stick anymore. But yes, and here's another very, very early edit I made again with. I think actually this one was half PixArt and then a little bit of Photoshop for the art, but it's the same picture. I think all of those like dots, all of those dots are PixArt, as well as, you know, making everything pop color-wise, and then the graffiti is Photoshop. And this edit was made right around the time I started art school, as well. So I started learning a few tips such as like leading lines and rule of thirds, which I'll get to, and I'll probably mention another point in a bit once, you know, my photography gets there, but this was not quite there yet. This photo was taken a while ago, but like you can see the colors pop. Like, again, I like to saturate my photos in color. I like a lot of color. So anytime I make an edit, I'm like, yep, the saturation meter goes up. Now, when you try and saturate your photos, you do want to hit a nice balance between saturating it to make the colors pop, but not oversaturating it. If you oversaturate it, your colors are going to start to look very grainy, which is not what you want. It looks bad. Unless a grainy look is what you're going for, but you're going to get that deep fried kind of look to some of your colors, which is not what you want. But yes, once I got full body, I started doing a bunch of fun little things where I could actually like pose in and around the scenery. I had a ton of fun with it. I went to so many different worlds, and this is when I started heavily like world hopping and actually like going places and looking for stuff that I could pose in. And yeah, no, oven baked photo. Yep, they're wait, baked. That's the wrong term for it. Deep fried. Deep fried is what I was looking for. Deep fried photos. You don't want deep fried unless you're specifically going for deep fried, but I get it for the memes, but like we can all agree deep fried, just I don't think I've seen a good looking deep fried photo, being entirely honest. Like for memes, it's kind of funny. For photos that are meant to look good, good luck if you're trying to deep fry your photos. So yes, watch your saturation levels when you're trying to, saturate stuff. But yes, this is when I started like really world hopping and spending hours and hours like going to different worlds and saving them and taking pictures there. Yeah. So again, the next one is a new version of my model. I went back to the black and red because I wanted something just a little bit more edgy. This was starting to get close to Halloween, so this was kind of my Halloween outfit for the year, but not really, because it was just back to my black and red. It was just something a little bit creepier. It conveyed a different like type of emotion in my pictures, and I'm back in this MMD world again because I couldn't get enough of it. I didn't even need to be back here again because I have full body. But no, this model is able to convey just a different sense of emotion. I could get a different type of mood with this one, which is something I really enjoyed. But I also really enjoyed that I had like a white and blue and a red and black. They were kind of opposites of each other, and that's something I really enjoyed. So I did this fun little duality photo where I actually this is two pictures flipped and mashed together in the same world. This is just kind of one of those worlds that is a very large starscape, large empty starscape. So there was no real floor, so you could just kind of see space around you, and it had a mirror there, and that was it. So I just put the camera really high, and then I had it pointed down, and then I took a picture in my red and black model, and then one in my white and blue model, and then I flipped the white and blue one, and then merged them together. That's all I did. But I ended up with something really cool, and this one I actually don't show off too many places because it doesn't fit on Instagram very well. And it's just old enough, it sits so far back in my library to where I barely ever find it. But yes. So there was another model I made, but before I show off the other model I made, this is the first avatar I ever used when I started VR chat. Some of you might recognize this as a subcom model. And I was very into white and pink at the time. Yeah, very clever way to get a composition. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about that a little bit because composition is really, really nice. Yes, pause. We'll get there. I swear. But something I always wanted to try was to, and now I can, and I still have never done this idea, but something I want to do, something I should do, is have a bunch of my models in the same quote-unquote photo, where it's just a bunch of photos mashed up together and overlaid kind of on top of each other and cropped in such a specific way to where you're really only showing the model. And it's very easy to do in VR chat because VR chat has a mode that is, I think it's called alpha capture. It's a filter, but all it does is it captures the model, and that's it. It doesn't capture any of the world around you. It captures a transparent photo of your model, which is really, really nice for editing. But something I want to do is I want to try and pull out all of my models that I have and put them all in the same scene somehow. I think that would be the way I do it. But anyway, yes, we'll move on to some pause. So this is one of the first pictures I've ever taken. This was the first model I ever used. This is a Subcom model. I believe it was the avatar name is Kitty. I don't know if the site's still up. I know Subcom released all of their avatars for free, so you can just kind of download them at your leisure. I don't know if you can find them anywhere, because I think that site went down. But this is the first model I ever used, and this is the version that I used. I used a pink version, because aside from white and blue, white and pink is also my second favorite color scheme. And then probably after that is black and red. But I use black and red more often than white and pink, just because the difference between, you know, white and blue and white and pink is not too much. Whereas when I use my red and black avatar, it conveys a completely different emotion, as I said before. But yes, so this is the first version I used. I got a hold of the avatar, and then I made my own version. So I've got, you see a bunch of your like typical magic features in there. You see the body tattoos, you see the cat eyes, you see the hair highlighted exactly the same way. Yes, still with the kitty paws. I don't use this model often enough, and I love it. I used to wear very, very small avatars. Yes, every single one of my avatars have a glow to them. Emissions is something I use way too much. But it looks cool. Yeah. I love glowy stuff. Again, on my YouTube, I've got a video where I just am basically showcasing the glow on the avatar that I'm wearing currently, and the avatar that my 2D self is based on. But yes, so this is the mini magic, is what I referred to it as. So after mini magic was a thing, I took one of the photos that was like widely regarded as one of my best photos for a very long time. This is still taken with a VRC camera, and this is where I started to kind of fall into learning about specific terminology about art and you know, what good art looks like. So I think this is probably a good time where I can talk about, you know, one of those little tips that you can try and use in your own photography. So there is this rule, and if you've gone to an art school, you'll have heard about this rule so many different times. Yeah, right? And it is called rule of thirds. So basically what it is, and you'll see Instagram do it. I wonder if I click the crop tool. No, that does not work. I was hoping it would bring up my grid, but it did not. What rule of thirds is if you divide your picture vertically and horizontally into kind of like a tic-tac-toe grid. Yep, never escape thirds. And that's why a lot of my photos look the way they do. There's a specific type of photo that you can go for where you kind of break the rule of thirds, kind of. But with a lot of photos that focus on scenery, as well as have, you know, a subject, you want to follow this rule of thirds. So if you divide your canvas or picture into a tic-tac-toe board that's perfectly even, where the lines kind of meet, like these would be the hot spots. So you would see one right about here. I wish I could draw on this easily, but I cannot. Wait. Maybe I can. Hold up. Let me just pull up my snipping tool. I bet I could do this. Hold on. Maybe. Let's see if I can't. Here we go. All right, so yes. So if, and this is going to be kind of scuffed. That's absolutely not a third. So we're looking right about here and right about here. And then right here. I'm drawing with a mouse. Excuse my... No, I don't like that one. right about here. So if I change to a blue pen, so these are your hotspots. These are the points where you want your subject matter to be in a photo. They don't. It's kind of weird because they like you just want your subject to kind of gravitate around these. The photo can kind of sort of follow these lines loosely, and you'll be just fine. But what you'll notice is this photo kind of falls into a lot of different, thirds. So the subject, which is my red avatar, falls kind of right here on this hotspot. Another thing with background and scenery, if you can kind of have it follow some of these lines, your photo's going to end up looking a lot better. So you kind of notice this tree line back here. It closely follows this third up here, which is... This photo has decent composition. It's not perfect, but it's got decent composition. Another thing is these three hotspots are basically empty space, almost. So you've got your focus over here in this kind of, third near this quadrant, and the rest of these hotspots are just empty space, if that makes sense. But yes, rule of thirds is a very important thing that you want to pay attention to when you're doing photography. But yes, that's magic tip number one. Watch your thirds. There's a bunch of different fun little things that you can do with rule of thirds. Quite honestly, I can't remember all of the fun things that you can do off the top of your head, but it's a good thing to, just keep in mind. Just kind of mentally divide your camera into, a tic-tac-toe board and try and get your points of focus on these hotspots. Yeah, your photos are going to end up looking a lot better. As soon as I learned this, it's all I started doing. There are points where these rules kind of start to break, and that would be for model shots, like stuff you see on magazine covers, stuff like that, because the articles for that magazine cover, per se, are supposed to be the points of focus, whereas the photo is actually kind of supposed to work as your background. So that's why you see a lot of model photography take place where the model is centered. Also, for whatever reason, having a centered model is more intimidating or unsettling, and just a little bit like it's kind of like a position of power. It's if you put something in the dead center of your photo, it's very hard not to focus on it. But if it's in the dead center, you're aiming for symmetry, and it's a little bit more difficult to do right than just going with the rule of thirds. With the rule of thirds, when you take photos, you will have a good picture more often than not. Symmetry is a lot harder to do, or faux symmetry is a lot harder to do, where you're aiming for symmetry but purposefully ruining the symmetry, I guess. But bunch of tips and tricks. Let's move on. I've got a bunch of photos to work through, and we've been at it for an hour. We are on photo 31. So I'm going to try and move through these a little bit quicker. So here is almost a good photo. It's not perfect with, silhouetting and all that stuff, but it's so close to being really good, but it's not quite. So this one, the model is just a little bit too centered in the frame. If actually this was cropped, or if you cut basically from this pillar, like right about here, if you cut that part of the photo off and then just left the rest, it would follow the rule of thirds a little bit more closely, and it would actually look a lot better than it does right now. Right now it looks just a little bit strange. The model is a little bit too centered. Talking about myself, I'm the model, okay? That's me. It's a good photo. I love this world so much. I'm going to go back to it again and do photos of it. Here's another one where the model is on that hotspot, and then actually the horizon line closely follows that rule of thirds. The camera's a little bit tilted, but that's my fault. It's close. But yes, that, again, another photo that starts. And these are like things I kind of just started naturally falling into as time went on. And then once I learned about it, I couldn't stop doing it. After this, I got another model, and this one was made by Godfall, but I made my own edit of it. I'm sure anybody who's played a decent amount of VR chat knows who Godfall is and how big his avatars are, because they absolutely ruin your frames, or at least they used to. Not so bad anymore. He started optimizing his avatars like a lot, which is really cool. But I got a Godfall avatar. I made my own white and blue edit of it, and I used this forever. The little spring joints, I had them out all the time. Like all the time. Which is it worked really nice for photos because it gave these really nice like sparkly effects. I just liked having them out because they added, you know, extra points of interest in my photos. Plus it's just a very pretty model. But yes, I put all my emissions back on it. I put the body tattoos there. Yeah, you know, I put my eyes in there. Yep. It's a magic avatar. It's very very hard for me to get away from that because these are looks that I, you know, really enjoy. Yeah, no, like it's really easy to tell that I've had my hands on an avatar because it just looks like me no matter what, because I use the same eye texture. I always have the black, I want to call it what, corneas, the white part of your eye. There's a name for it. I think it's cornea. I could be wrong though. But I always have, you know, black corneas. Sclera. That sounds better. Yes, I always have black scleras. I have a ton of body tattoos in all of my models. And I use emissions. All of them. And then my hair is typically highlighted the same way as well. This model I didn't do it because that required specific art on my end, and I didn't feel like doing that. I put a ton of work into this model though. Ton of texturing work into this model. And it turned out really well. I stuck with this model for so long, and I still use it every now and again. Yeah, no, it's it is really, like, Godfall just makes good models. Like, again, they're very heavy on, like, performance-wise, or at least they used to be, but they look damn good. And nobody can deny that. Godfall has a very specific style, and it looks really good. But after this, I got one of my favorite models, and then I made my own little version of this model. I'm sure you all have seen those little cats running around VR chat. It's kind of hard not to see them because they're just the most adorable thing that exists. It is the Montenegro avatar. I got my hands on a Montenegro. I made my own little snow leopard. Edit of it. But this model somehow is just my most expressive model that I have, and it's adorable. I still wear the. It's really funny. Anytime I meet somebody in VR chat, I wear this model because I don't know why. It's just too adorable not to, like, want to just pick up and give it a hug. Like, this model it brings me so much joy. And again, it is made for some of my most expressive and entertaining photos to me. I enjoy it so much. But yes. Still doesn't quite have all of the magic trademarks. I wanted to try and keep it as its own thing, but it does have the blue eyes. Not getting away from those. But I actually went and made that whole snow leopard avatar, or that snow leopard texture. I have never seen a Montenegro with a snow leopard texture on it. And I put a ton of work into that. A lot of people, when they make textures for models, they use a program called Substance Painter. I didn't I just brought up the raw texture and I used Photoshop, and that was awful. But this is one of my most entertaining like photo sets is right here. So picture 1, picture 2, and there we go. What's funny is this scene was entirely by accident. It's a very natural reaction because I'm like, how far can I lean over this? Is there something solid there? You know what? I'm just gonna keep taking pictures, and then I fell off and accidentally hit my trigger, and it took this picture. I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping it because it's so entertaining. I enjoy it. It also has a hoodie. My Montenegro has just this adorable little coat that I went and retextured. Or this adorable little sweater that I went and retextured that follows a little bit more of my rules where it's the white and blue and the hearts on it. And glitter. This is when I started getting really big into glitter because I learned I could use glitter on models. But what's really funny is like, I love the sleeves. The sleeves wiggle. They've got physics on them, and it's just adorable. I love it so much. Back to taking more photos, because I couldn't stop with the Montenegro, or with my little kitty avatar. But yes, after this is when everything changed. After this is when I met Oni. And this is when I learned about VRC Lens, and this is where my photos took off, because up until this point I had just been using the vanilla VRC cam. I hadn't been using anythings to amplify my work or anything. I was using just the basic camera, and it's as a camera it's pretty meh. It doesn't have any really fancy features on it. It's got like a basic filter system, but all of the filters on it kind of suck. The only filter that might be okay is the glitch filter. But even then, I'd rather just do that in post. Like, I don't want to do it, you know, I don't want to apply a filter to the pictures I'm taking, you know, live. But yeah, this is when I met Oni, and Oni's kind of a dork. But he's great. So I met him through a Instagram thing that was going on that VR Chat Society was running. He was their VR chat, or he was like their VR creator of the week or something like that. And it was something that they tried to do that didn't work out too well. Again, Oni was the first one, I was the second one, and I don't think they ever did it again. But when Oni got featured, and they posted his work, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know somebody actually like did photography in VR Chat, and his stuff looks really good. It looks like a professional level. I had never seen professional looking VR Chat pictures. So I got in contact with him. I'm like, hey, I saw your work on Instagram. I didn't know anybody did this before. Could we like set up a date to like do a photo shoot? And I have no idea why he said yes, but you know, I'm glad he did, because we are still really, really good friends to this day. In fact, I did a photo shoot for him a week ago. And you know, he's dating M Dragonflame, who is my artist. Like, she has contributed so much art to help, like, to streams. I have mentioned her 1,000 bajillion times on every social media I have, and then also here. She's wonderful. But yeah. So I met Oni, and Oni was like, have you ever heard of something called a virtual lens? I'm like, no, I don't know what that is. He's like, well, here, put this avatar on, and here's how you use it. Go ahead and try it out. And so I did a small little photo shoot for him, testing out how the camera works, testing out what to do and how to use everything. And immediately I saw results. Immediately I saw exactly what I could do when it came to photography. But then there was also that photo shoot he did for me before any of this actually happened. So these were the first like professional type photos I'd ever gotten of me. Everything else had been the normal VRC camera up until this point, but these are all virtual lens, or this one was virtual lens. And oh my god, like game changer right there. Some of these are out of order. I meant to show off another one of him. But yeah, absolute game changer, and he's helped me improve so much, because it's gonna sound kind of weird. Like with my photography, I always wanted to have better photos, or photos as good as or better than Oni. And as soon as I hit that level, I felt like that's when I could consider myself a decent photographer. So I was always trying to learn and do stuff. But there was that photo shoot that he did for me, and I used these a lot as reference. I'm like, okay, so if I'm trying to do something, how would I do it? Let me go back to these photos and look at those, and let's see if I can't somehow mimic that. And they turned out phenomenal. I love this photo set so much. I still use this photo set. He still uses this photo set for some of his edits. It's incredible. I love how these turned out so much. And then after that, we moved on to some of my other models, like the Godfall one that I have. And like, you can see the quality increase just compared from, like when you compare the VRC lens or the virtual lens to the VRC camera, which is but yes, ton of photo shoots, ton of work with, like, I worked with Oni a ton. I got so many different photos with him, and Vulture and Nekojin early on, but he did a ton of photo shoots for me as well. I tried my best to reciprocate, but I was still learning at the time, so all of these ones that have me in them that look very professional, like these were all taken by Oni. There's this one also taken by Oni. So this is when I started focusing a little bit more on modeling, finding really cool worlds and posing and all that fun stuff while I was working on my camera techniques on the side. I was a little bit more self-conscious about my camera techniques now that now that I saw what quality looks like, now that I saw what like professional type photos were in VRC. But I kind of, stopped taking a lot of photos and had more photos taken of me than I did myself. Any photos I took at the time were of Oni, or I would just do a few where it was just the virtual, or where it was just the VRC camera. But yes, after this I got a new model. I tried switching back to a white and pink for a little bit. This was around the time where I started dating Vulture. Vulture's great. I love her so much. But I wanted a cherry blossom type avatar, so I made a white and pink one. Very, badass looking, very intimidating. I have the claws, and I still have my trademark, eye look, but it's pink this time. But this one was all cherry blossom themed, and it's really cool. I might have a video of it on YouTube still. I might have taken that one down though, where it was just kind of a model showcase. What's cool about all of these cherry blossoms on the avatar is they actually move down the avatar. They kind of fall in a cherry blossom like fashion down the avatar, and it looks super cool in person. And then in the eyes, if you get really, really close, you can actually see cherry blossoms falling inside the eyes as well. Yeah. But again, this one was taken by me, by the way. I took this one. This is back to the normal VRC camera. And again, there's that rule of thirds. You can see it very clearly where I'm down in this focal point and the rest of the space is just open. I love putting models in scenery. I love, like, some people are really good at taking model photos, like model shots that don't focus too much on the scenery. Oni is fantastic at that. Oni is really, really good at doing model shots, where it focuses in really close on the face. Let's see if I can't find one nearby. 2 from now. All right, so this one. This is a very Oni type shot where it's very close and very personal, and it doesn't focus too much on the scenery. Scenery is very blurred out. But I am more of a environmental type photographer, where I like either putting the model in photography where that fits, or just getting photography that focuses on the environment in general. Yeah. And again, I hadn't delved too much. I'd done a few photo edits, but I hadn't really touched up anything. That doesn't happen for a little while. But I started like looking into other worlds and actually seeing how worlds affect avatars. This one, not a fantastic photo, but what it did to the avatar like makes it look super cool. For whatever reason, it turned all of the gold pink, and it kind of made it look very like, you know, oh, that's actually not too bad if I zoomed in. Maybe I should just do that. I could just crop this photo and it would be fine again. But I started looking at how worlds affect avatars instead of just trying to make an avatar fit in them, or basically if the avatar didn't fit the world at that very moment when I hopped there. So I started doing a lot more stuff like looking through worlds and actually like discovering all of the ins and outs of a bunch of different worlds. There's one in particular that Kirby will recognize the name of, and it's called Pandora. There's 3 different Pandoras that exist. They're very, very, very big puzzle worlds, but they are very, very pretty. They have some of the best scenery in them. If I see a Pandora world in any of this mess of photos that I have, I will definitely point them out. But they're very big, very photogenic from just about every angle of these worlds, but it takes like 4 hours to walk through it, to just walk from start to finish. It's ridiculous. But I started like delving more into worlds like that, where if it was big, I at least made sure I spent time like discovering about this world. So this was a secret little filter that this world had that made my avatar look like this. And that's kind of what sparked that. But yes. Moving on, because I was dating Vulture. I'm dating Vulture. Words. I made her a rose-themed version of the avatar. So instead of it being cherry blossom focused, it is rose focused. So all of the emissions on the front of the chest piece, they're roses, and if you look at them closely, they actually like bloom, and there's a bunch of rose petals, and in the eyes you can see rose petals falling as well. But yes, this was the avatar Vulture was using for a while at the time, but it's a good photo. This was also taken by Oni, by the way. Yeah, very, very dark and red, but together they kind of had that duality feel again, almost, where I was, you know, white and pink and she was black and red. These are probably some of the cutest photos that were ever taken of us, but yeah. Words. Starting to get to that point. Hold up, I need to get water. But yeah, this was the world name escapes me. It's like, I think it's called Lunar Nights. It's one of the very, very common ones. Everybody used to hang out here all the time. But yes. But now that I was dating Vulture, I had somebody I could take pictures of without needing to rely on myself. So I had a subject I could now take pictures of and work on my photography skills. So I I dragged her along with me to a bunch of different worlds, and she had just a massive collection of avatars at the time. So she hopped into a bunch of her different avatars, and yeah. This is another pair of avatars that we had. Yeah, Crystarium. Ooh, yeah, you recognized it. Yes, Crystarium. Um, I I did a whole set of her in this avatar at Crystarium. So what's fun about this avatar is that it actually has a bunch of different color variations that you can toggle on the fly. So it has blue and purple and pink and white and the yellow one. So I took her to a bunch of different places around the Crystarium that fit her color scheme and took pictures of her in a bunch of different colors of Harpy. Looked super cool. But another pair of avatars that we had was the Duality made by, I think her name is Zila. But we got a set of Duality. She used the dark version of the avatar. Oh, that'd be super cool. Kirby, if you ever do that, let me know. I will happily come and actually like take photos of you. I've had a kick recently. Once you start looking at once we start getting to my more recent stuff, you'll see like I somehow hit like a breakthrough with my photography again, and like I've just been releasing a bunch of really good stuff. Speaking of that, I will kind of mention, like, at the time, whenever I did photo shoots, my ratio of keep to delete was about 1 in 10. I would keep maybe 1/10 of the photos I took, which is not a great ratio for a photographer. Kind of the goal that you want to get to. I took a lot of photos. As a photographer, when it comes to a photo shoot, the more photos you take, the more likely you're gonna have a good one in there. So you definitely want to be sure to take a lot of photos if you're ever doing a photo shoot. The more photos you have, the more likely there's good stuff. But 1 in 10 still isn't fantastic. Fantastic ratio. I mean, as long as you get good photos, amazing. Don't worry too much about your ratio of delete to keep, because it's really not important as long as you have some good photos in there. But I wanted to kind of hit that, I keep one, I delete one type of thing. But recently, my ratio is flipped. I keep like 9 of my photos and delete 1. It's ridiculous how many good photos I take. Like, I have to go in there and like split hairs to be like, well, which one's better? Is it this one or this one? And like, I've been taking so many good photos recently, and I'm so happy about it. But I don't know why. Like, I took a break from it and then just came back, and I'm just so like, it's great. I enjoy my photography now. It's a lot of fun. But yes, so this is when we got our new model, or our new pair of models, which was Duality. So she take photos, delete some, delete none. Delete none, yeah. I mean, for my sake, I need to delete photos because, again, as I said, I probably to date, if there's some counter somewhere that keeps track of how many photos I've taken, I'm pretty sure it would be quite near 20,000. Because right now I've got 3,000 in my library. And there have been whole photo shoots where I had to delete everything because nothing happened. Like, it all sucked. But no, these models were beautiful. They had natural particles that just kind of sat and floated around them for a long time. And this ghost made for really good, like, kind of like very good small lighting. Didn't really put any light on the avatar, but like having this light beam to add leading lines to each of the shots, or just adding a focal point in there. Yep. That's what'll happen if you don't delete some of your photos. You're just gonna have a huge library. But yeah, this is a really good example of why I love this ghost so much, because it blends into the city background, but it adds so much red color right here, which makes all of the red in the avatar pop. It kind of fades a lot of this empty space out with at least a color, which is really nice. But I started trying to kind of mimic Oni's style with getting in really close and taking very detailed shots of models up close. Another world that I went to that is one of those you have to explore the world a bit to get to. There's this weird little spot where the filter on the world actually changes, and it's very strange. Or the post-processing is what it's called in most worlds, changes. And it changes to this really grainy, desaturated green look. It's very unsettling. The world kind of turns into a horror map for a little bit, but it added this really cool effect on the camera. However, this is one shot of, like, I'm not even joking, 100. I took maybe 100 photos here, and I kept this one because this filter, even though it made the effect, like, it affected the camera in such a cool way, all of these weird little lines, these are like dust lines that will fly in front of the camera, and so they would block the shot, and then other times it was blurred wrong. Like, even now, it might be a little bit too grainy and very blurred. But this is like one shot of 100 that was actually kept here in this world specifically, because these dust lines would cover the camera up, or your focal point, or like your focus on the virtual lens would be on one of the dust lines because it flew in front, and so your model would be out of focus. But oh no, this one looked super cool. But yeah, we're starting to get around about Christmas 2020, so I had a winter model. It was just this adorable little model I found on Booth. Yuki, I think, is the name of the model. She's this adorable little snow leopard, and I wanted her, I got her, I put all of my magic trademarks on her. I actually went and it's kind of hard to see. It's a little bit better here, but it's not quite the eyes I typically use. She's adorable, by the way. I went and painted my own eye texture from scratch. I didn't actually, photo bash or take it from somewhere else, because what's funny about my eyes, the ones that I typically use on my models, it's actually photo bashed snake and cat eye, and then I recolored it. So yes, I did kind of make it on my own, but this one I actually painted from scratch, and it was the first time I had ever attempted something, and it looked super adorable. I love it so much. Plus, it's just a really adorable model. So I added my, trademark white and blue. I added the body tattoos. Right? She's adorable. And then I did something fun that I've actually started doing a lot more recently. Was I found a specific glitter setting that makes it look like it's rimlit in kind of a, so you'll see a lot more of these like focused glitter lines across like the hair and such. I do it with my tail now, but it's just this really cool look. I still have my hearts. The expressions on this model are adorable, but this was kind of my wintry Christmas model. Adorable. Then soon after that, I settled into my version of Duality, because I finished Vulture's version first, and then I finished mine. But my version of Duality follows. It's right back into all of the my stereotypical stuff. But another thing I actually kept from this model are the glasses. The glasses are what's really important about this model. Because those are coming with me everywhere. I'm still kind of wearing them right now, with my round glasses. I love them a lot. I did a little bit less with the body on this one, because I liked all of the particle systems that it had just naturally on it, and I started making the light. I started focusing on matte caps. So making spots on the model shiny that are supposed to be shiny. So all the little metallic bits that are on this model, shiny. I also started adding art to the backs of my hoodies, because that's something I really enjoyed. And as always, my signature is on all of my models in some way, shape, or form. Aside from my stereotypical looks. And that's just in case, you know, anybody tries to... I don't think anybody's tried yet, and I really hope nobody does. I'm sure it'll happen someday. It's in case somebody tries to rip my edit of a model. I make sure to put my name on it, as you should. I know some people don't, just so they can sell the model or make it a public version. But I think it's just kind of good practice to put it somewhere stylistic. Plus, I mean, if somebody rips my model and does nothing to the texture, my name's going everywhere with them, and there's nothing they can do about it. Meaning, that's free publicity right there. I know nobody's gonna be like, nobody's gonna see Magic Malaraith on like a model and be like, huh, wonder who that person is. Let me check them out. Realize I stream. We'll see though. But I loved this model. Honestly, one of the cleanest models I have ever owned, aside from Godfall. But I love this model so much. And so now me and Vulture had another set of matching models that looked really good. And this is a photo edited by me. This photo was taken by Jack in the Box, who I will talk about in a little bit. Same with this one. This was that same photo shoot. But I loved these two. They were called Duality, so they worked super well together. They looked super good together all the time. We both still use these avatars a lot. It's great. But after this is a look you might recognize, because this one is how I look now. This is my current model. This is my hoodie. My hoodie magic. It has all of my looks, all of my current looks. I kept the round glasses. I started doing a little digi pattern throughout the ears and the inside of the hoodie. They're turned off right now on my 2D version. I'm working on getting it fixed. I just need a little bit of time. They turned off and I can't figure out how to turn them back on. So yeah, that's why the digi pattern isn't on 2D me right now, but it's on my 3D version. And it's something I'm probably going to try and carry with me, you know, if I continue to make models and such. But yes, this is current magic. All of my white and blue stereotypical stuff. This photo was taken by Loaf. Meet my Loaf, by the way. Who actually is on the next slide. Because next slide is when I actually started getting myself into a bunch of different photography groups and meeting a bunch of different photographers. But yeah, nope, this is my current look. That's when this happened. After this, I met Loaf. Loaf is a phenomenal photographer. They have their own little website, and I wish I knew what the name of it is. They also stream. They do more of a just chatting type stuff. I don't know if they've streamed very recently, but they had their own little just chatting type streams, very cozy. Kind of what I base some of my just chatting sections on, except I am trying to give myself something to talk about at the very least. But Meet My Loaf, amazing person, amazing photographer. But yeah, I met them. I did a couple photo shoots with them. They're really good at model making too. I know most of their stuff is from Booth, but like they're really good at making clean edits and very like they have a very defined look now, which is a lot of fun. They've got a ton of different outfits too, which is insane. But really talented photographer. I learned a lot from Loaf about how to use VRC lens, because I'd been using an old version. I still use an old version. I need to get that updated. I need to get a model with an updated version of VRC lens. But amazing person, amazing photographer. Definitely go check them out if you get a chance. But yeah, no, I met them. They taught me a bunch of stuff about, you know, VRC lens. So my photography got, you know, taken a step further. After that, I met Kana. Kana does all of our emotes. So all of the emotes that are available right now, except for the flowers, because I did the flowers, but all of the emotes that are available now in my server, and then also here on, I know I have to get the update for the camera. I'm still using like version 2, and they're up to like version 11 now. It's ridiculous. Like, I have the version that doesn't even have the drone yet. That's how far back I am. And at this point, I might just like hand my model over to somebody and be like, please just put virtual lens on it. I can't. I don't have time right now. But yeah. I still have some tweaks I need to make to my current model before I do that. But you know what? I might just do that. The issue is my model right now is 2.0. It's not 3.0. I don't have a 3.0 version. And so I know emotes work a little bit differently on 3.0 versions, which is what concerns me, because I've got a 2.0 controller, not a 3.0 one. But yes, this is Kana. She did all of our emotes. This is how I got all of our emotes. We did an art trade, so I did photography for her. She did emotes for me. Totally unfair trade. She totally didn't have to like. Photography is so easy compared to drawing things. I feel like totally not a fair trade, and I want to do another photo shoot for her if she ever wants one, and if she ever sees this, like, you can message me. I'll do another photo shoot, I promise. But yes, amazing. She's adorable. And then after meeting these two, I met I met Jack in the Box. I've got like 2 photos of Jack. He does not have a lot of photos of him that I can use. Not that I can't use. He just doesn't have a lot of photos of him in general. He is almost always exclusively the photographer. So I caught him during one of our photo shoots, and I took a picture of him because he was wearing an adorable little bunny avatar. This is also Pandora, by the way. The world that I mentioned earlier. The one that takes 4 hours to walk through. Yeah, because for gestures and stuff, you'd have to add it on after, but you can make your model 3.0 ready. It makes adding the camera so much easier. I know. So Kirby, my new model that is still a work in progress. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I might have showed it to you. It's the what would I even call it? It's a little bit more punk than my normal look. It's a little bit more skater. I used the Haxor Bunny outfit from Honkai Impact. Yeah. So, but that one is 3.0. That one I have. Welcome back. How was food? Was it good? What'd you have? What'd you eat? Have I not shown you my work in progress model, Kirby? Why does this always happen? I feel like I've shown you something or a world. This happens so many times with the Final Fantasy worlds too. Oh, sad. Oh. Drink some water. I will too. You know, just hope you feel better. But yeah, Kirby, this has happened so often with us where we just, where I'm like, I showed you this really cool thing, right? This really cool world or this project that I'm working on. And you're like, no, you haven't. And I'm like, okay. I'll just go die 1,000 deaths and feel really bad about it. We hopped to a few worlds, and I think when we went to the murder world after, I think he went somewhere else. Oh. Yeah, no, you guys went and hopped to... Oh, that was recently. Yeah, you guys all went and hopped to murder, and I did hop somewhere else. But no, this model's been work in progress for a little while. I don't have any pictures of it yet, because it's all on Unity. But remind me next time you see me on VRC to actually show you the work in progress, because I do have a work in progress uploaded. It's got no dynamic bones on it yet, but it's got It's got the hex pattern in the eyes. Did I not show you that? I swear I showed you that. I know I at least showed Psychotic, I think. I'm pretty sure Psychotic has seen the work in progress one. But yeah, it's got no bones. Yeah, that's fair. It's got no dynamic bones, no facial gestures, so I just have this blank stare all the time. Yeah, Psychotic's seen it. Yeah, the Hex-eyed one. Where I added a new little animation onto my eyes. That's a fun little hex pattern. Yeah, that one. That's the one I'm talking about. I hope to finish that one soon. That one is 3.0. I just don't have any of the gestures available for it. It's one of those things that I need to sit down and do, but like just okie dokie. But it's one of those things that I just need to sit down and actually like do it. But I've been so involved with streaming because right when I kind of like was getting really into working on it, I also like a bunch of things lined up for me to start being able to stream, like my 2D model being finished and all that. So I dropped everything, worked on my 2D model for a while, and I haven't actually really worked on any art projects since, aside from the small little videos I've done. But yes, Jack in the Box has taken a ton of really, really good photos of me. Like this one. However, the really cool thing, for whatever reason, Jack in the Box, when he started taking photos of me, I started getting into a kick for actually like editing photos. So a lot of the photos that he took of me, I've done edits for. Like, here's a really good example of it. This is an edit that I did of this photo, and it looks super sick. This is again using PixArt. That's all I use to edit my photos. There's the off chance I might use Photoshop, but it's very, very rare, and it's only for a very specific thing. But more often than not, I use PixArt to edit all of my photos. But yes, another fun little photo set that we did was with the duality models in this cool little space station looking map. So these are all taken by Jack in the Box, but these are all edited by me. So we did this fun little like story-ish based photo shoot, where, you know, something's wrong on the ship and I have to, you know, like, and it looked like I was making my way through the ship trying to figure out what it was. But I did all of these edits. Like, here is the original version of this photo. It's a very different feeling. And all I did was bring down the lights. I made that entire screen red. I added a lot of the red lighting along the jacket and all along the front of the face. Gave it this weird little like dust mask over top of it. But yes, these are all things that, like, when you're messing with your photos, that you like want to pay attention to, especially if you're doing a narrative-based photo. Color conveys a lot of mood. Like these two photos carry two very different moods just based off of the color alone. Even if I left the lighting alone and didn't bring it down, it would still kind of, because red is a very like alarming color. It brings a lot of emotion to this scene, which is why I had it blue, which is why I drained all of the color out of this one right here, because I didn't want the red from this little box to be in the scene. I wanted it to stay blue and like things were calm, but oh no, things are starting to get a little bit more red. I added this fun little glitchy effect around the outside of it, and what that is that's actually a crosshatch filter. You can find you can find it on Photoshop if you want to do it through Photoshop, but also it's kind of this fun little like filter you can throw on top of things that make the photo look like it was crosshatched, but then you erase the filter on a lot of things around the crosshatch. So you get this fun little glitchy little effect, which is really nice. But then you move on to this one, all very, very red, very little blue, makes for very, very nice narration. But yeah, Jack in the Box has done a lot of photos for me. This is another one I edited. This is me and Vulture again in another avatar pair that we have, where we're just in very cute little hoodies. This one's me, this one's Vulture. We kind of keep to our color schemes. She uses a lot of red and black. I use a lot of white and blue. we pair very well together. But yeah, I started messing around with a bunch of different things in PixArt. Started using these squares. These squares are lovely to use if you know how to use them right. And then erase them at very specific spots. But yes, this photo is just with the VRC lens. It's not with anything else. No editing, no post-processing on it at all. And it looks fantastic. It was so cool. This is back to that really grainy, the same world that had that really grainy look to it with the dust filters and all that. This was just in a different part of the world next to this crystal that reflected in such a weird way that you could actually kind of duplicate the model in the back, and it looks really cool. You've got that chromatic aberration there too, which looks really, really nice. Yeah, he did a really good job with this photo set. And then this photo is actually in 4K. This is when I first learned that you can start taking photos in higher than the VRChat default, where you can take 4K photos and 6K photos and even up to 8K photos. The 8K photos are ridiculous and they will crash you if you don't have a good computer. Yeah, it gets pretty serious if you try and do any of the 8K stuff. But no, I've got this one's my current wallpaper at the moment because just it looks really, really good and really, really clean. You can see the detail all the way to the back where the bridge is, and it looks so crisp and so clean. But Jack in the Box is one of the people that showed me how to work lighting. So there's this very specific world that is meant for photo shoots. I believe it's just called Photo Studio. Where it's just this room that has it's just this white room with a bunch of lighting and clean white backdrop. And you can spawn lights in, you can spawn colored lights in, and light your own scene. And so I took Oni there to do a photo shoot for him and Dragon, because they had brand new avatars and they wanted a photo shoot. So I took them there, and I started this is my first attempt at messing with lighting. Like, this was probably the most professional photo shoot I've ever done up to this point, because I was using lighting, I was using camera stuff, and they turned out phenomenally. It's really funny because this was my first time actually doing all of the lighting stuff. Like, I had never messed with it on my own before then. I just watched Jack in the Box do it, because Jack in the Box took me here at one point for one of our photo shoots. So I took them here. I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can't swing this. So I took Oni and Dragon here, and Trap, yes, hello. But yeah, I took Oni and Dragon here, and they said that it looked like I was being really, really professional. Like, I knew exactly what I was doing. And that, I don't know, that made me super happy. Because I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just like, this looks good. What was, and the designs on their avatars looked super, super cool. They did a fantastic job. Yeah, no, I know it seems like I know exactly what I'm doing all of the time. I swear I'm not. I'm just this big ball of anxiety, 90% of the time. And I'm just very good at hiding that. I swear I never know what I'm doing. But their avatars looked so good, and I was so happy to be the first person to see them and then also take pictures of them. I believe Dragon still uses her version of, because they made a matching pair. Dragon still uses that avatar. Oni likes his more darker type looks. Oni likes the black and red look a lot more. But it's really funny because he's such a soft boy that this look really fits him super well. But the complicated part about this photo is Dragon's avatar has emissions on it, just natural emissions. So it's just naturally lit all of the time. So when I had the same lighting on both of them, Oni looked really, really dark compared to Dragon. So I had to put and situate a very specific spotlight that just was on Oni and that wasn't on Dragon. It was fun. It was a fun little thing to try and work around, and it turned out phenomenally. These are still like probably some of the best pictures I've ever taken. But yes. After that, we're getting really close to the end actually, which is really nice because starting to run out of energy. Yeah, we've only got a little under 2 rows left. So yeah, after that I started, I still use the normal VRC cam even to this day because again, I don't have virtual lens on one of my own avatars, and the downside of virtual lens is if you are trying to take pictures of yourself with virtual lens, you're taking pictures of the avatar that you're using, which can get a little complicated. Because I'm using a public avatar, it's not really an avatar that's me. So when it comes to my own photos, I'm still using the normal VRC camera. But you can still make them turn out really well. This was edited, this was still taken with the VRC camera. However, it was post-processed with PixArt again, using a blur tool to blur out any of the important bits or unimportant bits like the foreground flowers, and to bring more focus to the model as well as the flowers, the mid-ground flowers right here. It's not perfect. You can still kind of see a little bit of the edges. I could have done this in Photoshop if I'd wanted to, and it probably would have come out a lot cleaner if it didn't done it in Photoshop. However, I still think PixArt's pretty good if you know how to use it really well. And this one is of Tadashi. This is Pandora again. But yeah, no, my photography has come a long way since I started, which is really, really, yeah, I took this one. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm pretty sure he uses one of the photos I took as his profile picture, at least in VR chat, for his model. Yes. It's a lot of fun. I really do enjoy photography. My photography has come such a long way since the beginning. Is it in Discord now too? Nice. This one is of Lancer. My photography has come so far in these last 2 years, and it's come so far since just meeting Oni in October or September. So we're coming up on a year since we've met each other, which is insane. It has not felt that long. And then this is Athena. Yeah, no, it's really fun to see how far I've come since starting my photography journey. And now you kind of have a little taste of, what that journey has been for me, and all of the little things that I've learned along the way. All of the little tips and modeling tricks. I've learned so much since starting VR chat about design and modeling and photography and composition and color and just so many different things. Being like so creatively involved with something that not a lot of people really do in this game. It's amazing, and I've met so many cool people along the way. This is Dark Zessica. This is probably one of the cleanest models I've ever had the opportunity to do photography for. The texturing on it is really, really, really nice. But this was very, very recently. This is one of my more recent photos. But yes, having a lot of fun doing photo shoots for them. I think we're probably going to line another one up here probably sometime soon, depending on whether or not they reach out to me again, because they have twice now. And I do genuinely enjoy taking photos for them. Their models are so cool. This is Widgie. I would love to show more photos from this shoot. However, I'm a little bit... hello, welcome back. You made it. We're getting really, really close to the end, but yeah. These are some of the more recent photos that I've taken. I haven't posted these on Instagram, so they have gone up in my Discord if you've seen them there. But these haven't gone up to Instagram yet. So actually, let me go back one because I don't think you've seen this one. These are my most recent photos. Oh, you're back too. Welcome. Everybody's coming back. Hello. But yes, these are some of my more recent photos. These are within like the last 2 weeks. So this is Dark Zessica. This is one of the cleanest models I've ever had the opportunity to do photography for. Their models are very, very expertly done. They've got so many different toggles and so many different things. Like, you can do so much with this avatar. It's got like 3 or 4 different outfits. And then let me hold on one second. We are just going to... There we go. Thanks for the follow. Goodbye. All right. But yes, this is one of the cleanest models I've ever had the opportunity to do photography for. The textures on their model are very expertly done. They've got so many different outfits to do. They've got so many outfits to actually, like, you know, do photography for. They're like all of these scales that you see, those are all bump mapped in. So like, those aren't extra polygons. Those are just really good normals baked onto the actual model, and it's just very, very good looking. And then more recently, this is Widgie. I would show more photos I did with Widgie because they just look great. However, I don't think they quite follow the Twitch TOS. I wouldn't. They're not like. How do I word this correctly? They're not like inappropriate entirely. It's just they're very kind of lewd. So I'd rather just kind of stay away from that in regards of, you know, showing them publicly on Twitch, just to avoid anything that might happen. But back to Dark Zessica, and then this is Narmicus. I feel like I'm saying their name wrong. I just called them Narm the whole time during the photo shoot, but I did a duo shoot with Zess and Narm. And I love this photo so much. Again, these all happened within like the last 2 weeks or so. But yes. Oh, they turned out so well. This photo shoot was a lot of fun to do. Let's see, how many photos do I have left? Yeah, it's totally okay if you need to get some sleep. What's funny, or we're actually coming up on the end. I actually have got like 4 more photos to show. But if you need sleep, go get sleep. We'll probably be ending here soon anyway. This is back to Oni Boy and his most recent model. Amazing. Yes, go sleep and sleep well. I think the last thing I have to show off is a new feature I've started messing around with. Yes, goodbye, Psychotic. Sleep well. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Actually get some sleep now. Bye-bye. Another thing I've started messing with more recently is taking higher quality photos. So this is taken with the normal VRC camera. However, this photo is in 8K, which is excessive. You absolutely do not need to take 8K photos. But for whatever reason, like, it makes the outlines of everything stand out so much. This is of This is of Sanaki. They were here earlier. I don't know if they're still here, but this is Sanaki of Begnian in their model that they use in VR chat. This model is in 8K, I believe. So this is a setting I've started messing around with a lot more recently when it comes to actual photography in VR chat. But yeah, and this, I think that's the end. This is my last one. Thank you all so much for coming by and hanging out, and for absolutely trying to fuck with me and totally failing because I am very confident in who I am. But yes, thank you all for swinging by. I really appreciate it. Y'all are wonderful. Stay safe. Have a fantastic evening. I hope you enjoyed this little trip through Metaverse memory lane. These photos mean an absolute ton to me. I'm glad you could make it too. It was so fun to show all these off. As usual, the VODs for this will probably be available by the end of tonight, I want to say. Maybe. We'll see. As well as yesterday's VOD, because I streamed yesterday and I forgot to upload that VOD. But yes, I appreciate you all. Let me just pop on over to my ending screen while I find somebody to raid. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me